Good morning, Honorable President, His Excellency President, First Lady, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to thank Atlantic Council so much for taking African issues serious, and the United States government for being part of the Somali development and good governance. My name is Rosemary Segero. I'm the president of Hope for Tomorrow. We focus on conflict resolution and violence prevention. I have attended all the Somali events in this city praying for Somali, and I'm just so happy that Somali at last has a government, and may God bless Somali and also bless America, which has been part of this. Now that you are here and with your good leadership, how can we, I work with Somali professionals who are based in San Diego, 10 of them. They are pilots, they are professionals, they are doctors, and they are really interested in going back to their country and develop their country. And in fact, we have a paper on that which we have written, and I'm so happy to have attended this event here. How do you welcome them back with their project, with their professionalism? They need to be part of you. You cannot do it alone. And me, even being a Kenyan, I still want to work with you. And now that the First Lady is here, First Lady, encourage the President to focus on women, young girls and women, and empower women. Inclusion, we want more than 20 women in Parliament too, Mr. President. If you work with with women, the government will be very, very nice and put more women in Parliament. So how are we going to work with you? The Somalis in San Diego, United States, and all over the world who are professionals. You need to give them freedom, be part of you, work with you. Thank you so much. And welcome.
Thank you, Rosemary. I guess the question, I guess, is twofold, Mr. President, on the role of the diaspora can play in Somaliland's development and the role women can play.
Well, thank you very much indeed. I think, Somaliland has a very strong diaspora. And Somalilanders abroad, anywhere within states or in other countries, do always play, the communities play a very, very, very important role in helping people. They send money. They always support the cause of Somaliland's independence. And they always come to the country and organize meetings, and they also spread the cause of Somaliland wherever they are. So for us, as far as we're concerned, we are always welcoming the Somaliland diaspora. And as a matter of fact, very soon we will be holding a big conference in Somaliland itself, inviting intellectuals and from Somaliland who are coming from all over the world to discuss issues concerning Somaliland, and how to spread it throughout the world. And also, we are prepared to listen to their advice and to their expertise and to benefit from their expertise in all fields. So, in fact, this meeting is going to be held very soon.
Would either of you care to address the issue of women?
Yeah. Women play a very important role in our political system. As a matter of fact, my government has appointed more women in government than any previous administration we had in our country. We have two full ministers, and they are also in various parts of the administration, at every level of administration. And in fact, also, the Somaliland government has proposed to Parliament to increase the number of women which would be elected to Parliament, to giving them a quota. According to our law, it's very difficult to give a quota, but we have submitted a proposal to Parliament because, in our culture, in fact, it's the women themselves who have not been supporting the movement of the women to be chosen in Parliament, to a very large extent, because of their belief that the women's role is in the House. But the Somali government has been putting proposals forward to Parliament, and we are hoping that more women will be given a chance to engage in politics and to be elected for political participation in Parliament and other elected bodies.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Welcome, Mr. President. My name is Abdul Halim Ibrahim Rijal. I work for the U.S. Department of State Digital Outreach Team, and I welcome you and your delegation and the First Lady here. I hail from that area of the region in Somaliland, and I was away for a while, for almost 25 years, and I went back last year to Somaliland, where I grew up. My question goes back to the communication side, which is the restriction of the opening the radio stations like FMs. And I was appalled when I heard that Somaliland, where the freedom of expression is almost better than anywhere else in the region, but it's still we are lacking what's called the FMs and the radios. So I'm not sure what's hindering that process. Is it the legislative side of the Somalilanders? Is it people are still talking about why the FMs, radios stations are not opening up in Somaliland, not the government side. I grew up like 2 miles from Radio Hargeisa a long time ago, but where we stand in that process of opening, given we have the press, the print press, and we have the TV stations, but where is the FMs? And if you go and see where's the chaos in Somalia, South Central Somalia now, we have like more than 50, sometimes 80 stations. Thank you.
Thanks, Abdi. Could we take a couple of questions, or do we deal with each question?
I think it'd be easier
Okay.
to do that.
Thanks, Abdi Halim, for your question, which is which related to communication and mass media. I'm very pleased to tell the audience, Somaliland has 14 daily newspapers in Hargeisa. And by and large, Somaliland leads freedom of expression in the region. If you look into the countries around Somaliland, there isn't much press freedom than what we have here in Somaliland. We also have got private TVs that are freely operating in our country. We have a national radio that has been expanded its capacity and can be listened throughout Horn of Africa, and indeed many other countries as well. But in relation to radios, we are looking into, and there is a legislation that's now at the Parliament to be agreed upon by the Parliament. That legislation will provide a policy framework, but also the legislative framework that we need to have a proper code of conduct for radios. We do understand Somalis in general, but particularly Somalilanders listen radios very much. And in rural areas, radio is the only media access that people can. So we do understand the importance of having a different radio stations. But at the moment, we have a national radio center that's enough for the whole country. But we are looking into providing a private radio, if that's what you are getting at, a private radio stations. But there has to be a legal and policy framework before, and that's what we're looking at the moment.
Thank you. The lady with the blue veil there.
Hello, my name is Fauzia, and I just want to talk to Mr. Siilaanyo about issue that someone just mentioned it. And Mr. Siilaanyo, since you took the office about 3 years ago, there was about between 1,000 to 2,000 people were killed in Buuhoodle, Sool, Sanaag, and Ain. That people were innocent, civilian, nomadic people. Just like the lady here, Little Halimo, we call her Little Halimo. She was killed when the last election was done in Hudun. When the last election was done in Hudun in January, that was the children, women, and rape happened in Hudun area. What I want to ask you is that when you were mentioning about 21 years, Siad Barre killed you and 50,000 in Somaliland. In about 3 years, there was 15,000 people killed in Sool, Sanaag, and Ain. That has a name called Khatumi State of Somalia. The people here and you, I'm asking you today, I'm pleading you today, that you have to tell the truth. When this gentleman next to you was talking about it, I didn't know whether I want to cry Whether I want to leave the room, I don't know. I just didn't know what to do with myself listening what he was talking about and what's happening in Seoul, Senag, and Ain Khartoum state of Somalia. I'm asking you today, you tell your government to stop killing innocent people in Seoul and Senag, Ain. And the only reason that is happening is that there's two reasons. First, you are forcing them to come along with you, and they say, no, we want to be in part of Somalia. And also, the gas and the oil that you're talking about is part of Seoul and Senag, Ain. And that's the other reason that all this killing happening. I'm telling everybody here, this is a little Halima. She's 30 years old.
Do you have a question, please?
My question to you is that I'm pleading to the president today, Mr. Siilaanyo, you have to call your organization. You have to call Hargeisa. You want to call Hargeisa and tell them, please stop killing. As we're speaking now, I'm talking to you. There is a killing happening in Hudun. You know that. There's a killing happening in Las Anod. You know that. There's a killing happening anywhere in that region. Please stop it. Please tell the world the truth about what's happening. And anybody want to make a fact checks that can come to me. I will give you the report, come from the UN, from everywhere. Thank you.
Okay. I think what that lady has said is completely false and far from the facts.
I don't think you should say this is America. You don't talk to women like that. Sorry.
Well, I don't know how to answer to you because if you
Okay.
the people in borderland areas you are talking about are part of Somaliland.
They are not.
They are part of Somaliland, historic, and they are part of Somaliland.
Sorry, you asked the question.
You have asked a question. Let me answer that question. If you have just want to make a statement, it's up to you. Make the statement, and that's your problem.
Okay, okay. If we move on to the.
Well, I don't know how to answer to you then in that case. You know, I mean, well, just keep quiet then. And let me give me a chance. The people you are talking about are people of Somaliland. It is absolute lies that there has been any killings in that area. If there were clashes at one time in some places, the leaders of those areas are now part of the cabinet of the government. They are ministers in my government. There has been peace initiatives. There have been elders. There have been the government initiative has been made. Peace has been returned to the area. It's people like you who are trying to instigate ordinary people who live in peace with their own, in their own country, in their own region, with their own government, with the elders and so on. But the people like you who are outside, who I don't know what your whatever your motivation is, are the people who are creating the problems. We are trying to solve the problems, and we have solved most of those problems. And we are more concerned about securing peace in the area, talking to those people, allocating tremendous resources to develop education, to develop health, to develop water resources in the area for the people of that area.
Okay, one last question since.
My name is Solomon Mohammed.
The microphone.
My name is Solomon Mohammed. I'm from North Carolina, and I'm from Khartoum State of Somalia. I welcome Mr. Siilaanyo and his group, but I will advise you that here in America, we have something they call fact check, and you better be careful now. And, you know, if I go back to my,
If you have a question, we really have to keep this on schedule.
I do have a question. As we know, Somaliland was colonized in British. And there was 5 tribes who were living in that area. And all of you as a president, and all your groups came from one tribe called Isak. There is none of another tribe with the other 4 tribes here with you today. And the only people who want to separate from Somalia is nothing but you as a Isak tribe. I'm a Durbahante, as a Khartoum state, and you know the Gudubirse with the Awdal state, with Makhro or Sirgali state, none of them need to separate from Somalia. Are you the only people who forcing and lying all over the world that you have a legitimate reason to separate?
Do you have a question, not a statement?
Yes, sir, I'm coming up. On the other hand, before I go back to my question, the city of Las Anod, the capital of Seoul, there was 259,000 people used to live there. Somaliland militias and Siilaanyo military forced those people to leave the country.
Rubbish.
They killed them, they tortured them. I have it here.
Okay.
You know,
sir,
the hundred of people.
have
Yes, sir, I'm
a
coming.
question,
I'm coming,
a question,
yes, sir,
or
I'm coming.
if you want to make a
Those
statement,
people,
have your
they
own.
were children. They were, you know, the older women. They are women. All of them, they were tortured. They were killed. And they evacuated
Okay.
the city. I'm coming to the question. Mr. Siilaanyo, you are killing the people day and night. As this morning, I got a call from my hometown. The little girl.
Is there a question
I'm
here?
coming.
It can't come much
My
later. If you want to make a speech, please.
You know, you don't have no reason to force other tribes. You don't have no legitimacy to do whatever you do and kill the people left to the right. What we're asking you, when you going to stop killing the people and stop lying around the world, that something is not legitimate that you're telling the people here. And I'm asking, like this lady said, anybody who needs the fact, we have the fact over here. In Somaliland, they really lying, killing the people, and he's the man who's ordering people to kill left to the right.
I don't think there's a question here.
There has not been a question to answer.
Well, I think we have to conclude.
Yeah. I guess you have to start before you can stop. Okay. But please join me in thanking President Siilaanyo and his chair.